Mike Majlak, a lot of you know him as Logan Paul's best friend or one of his closest friends. He gained very quick success off the back of Logan Paul due to being one of the co-hosts on Impaulsive and because he dated Lana Rhodes, a birthday present courtesy of Logan.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Man, that's my friend Lana.
I know she is! This is the best gift. My mom never got me anything like this, bro.
Mike is also a self-proclaimed truther. Yes, this man tells no lies.
The amount of times I had to sit in front of someone and tell them something that I so easily could have lied about that hurt so bad to tell the truth on because I simply don't lie. I don't do it. I don't fucking lie about anything. I tell simply 100%. It is my brand.
You tell your truth.
It is my brand.
But you and I both know
to
that's
tell
not true.
100% of the truth.
You tell
all
your
the fucking
truth.
time.
Bullshit. Stinks. Logan Paul handed this man a career on a silver plate, and I've always had this offish feeling about Mike. It seems he will say or do anything in order to protect himself, his relationship, and for clout. And I don't think it's crazy to say that a lot of people, including myself, see Mike as a clout chaser. And what we will be looking at today, to me, really does back up these claims. So let's quickly add some context. Mike and Logan Paul got into drama a few months back. Logan Paul was on his podcast and rightly defended Harry Styles for wearing a dress on the front of a magazine.
To me, I see this and I'm like, what a fucking G. Like he don't give a fuck.
Wait, is that really what you think, or is that what you saying? But like,
I swear to God,
I swear Harry Styles wearing a dress,
Yeah.
like your immediate thought is, "Wow, this guy's a real gangster."
Yep. Because I'm all about challenging social norms.
An opinion I'm sure most of us can probably agree with. However, for some reason, I don't know if Mike just didn't like the fact Logan was actually getting praised for having a good opinion. It annoyed him so much that he started slating Logan Paul behind his back and accused him of doing it all just for the cameras.
Provided a differing viewpoint, Harry Styles with the dress thing. I provided a differing viewpoint because I'm gonna be honest with you. There are a lot of times where Logan can be a dick rider on shit, and I was providing a on stuff like that. Like if Logan, I'm gonna be honest, if Logan sees an opportunity with a celebrity of that stature of Harry Styles, he's gonna say something on the podcast to squeeze it into the like he didn't come off that show, and I would say this directly to Logan. If he was here, straight up, I would tell him he didn't come off that show like, wow, we did a great job pushing for the wearers of male wearing of dresses. Like he did that because he knew it was gonna get clipped. It was gonna give him, you know, a hand up in that fucking space, right?
Yeah, just casually talking smack on your best friend on a public podcast, basically calling his opinions fake just to gain an edge. So what, Logan can't have a good take on serious issues? You'll come to realize at the end of the video that the reason why Mike has this awful take and talks smack about his best friend is because his mind only cares about clout and views. It is literally all he thinks about. So in that clip, Mike said this was something that, you know, he would say to Logan.
And I would say this directly to Logan. If he was here, straight up, I would tell him.
Well, Logan heard this on the podcast and wasn't happy at all. He put out this post on Instagram. This upsets me and I wish I hadn't seen this. Mike will change his character based on who he's with and what room he's in. Everyone in the house knows this and it's been an issue in the past, especially when we go out socially. I've caught Mike in lies before and I try my hardest to help him shed that very ugly part of his personality, but evidently there's been no progress. He'll make things up to further his agenda. Everything he said here is simply not true. George can attest, I was even more fired up before and especially after the podcast when they couldn't see my point of view on Harry Styles' dress situation. What a shame. Hopefully he can take his mask off before the rest of his closest friends realize he's only riding the room of people he wants to impress. I mean, even off that statement alone, I could just end the video here. I would not want Mike as a friend or someone in my circle at all if these are the qualities he possesses. Everything Logan is saying in this statement is calling Mike a clout chaser without actually using the word clout chaser, like changing his character based on who he's with and riding the room for people he wants to impress. Might as well put a statement saying clout chaser. Mike responded to this with some form of apology, which we'll later come to find he really didn't mean at all. Saying, you said I'll never admit when I'm wrong. Well, let me correct that behavior. I was wrong here. I made a tasteless comment. If I made it around Logan and our friends, that would be one thing, but I didn't. I love to run my mouth, say things sarcastically, and mess around, and sometimes that bites me. Anybody who knows anything knows I've done nothing but push tirelessly as a member of Team Maverick since the day I joined. Logan and I are handling this behind the scenes as we should, and I'm working on adjusting how and when I say certain things. Trying to play it off as saying things sarcastically. You said, let me be honest, twice before making these statements about Logan. Nothing about what you said on that podcast is sarcasm. What is sarcastic about calling your friend a dick rider who gives opinions just for clout and to impress celebrities? Seems like Mike's just projecting pretty hard. But this is nothing. Let's move on to the new Impaulsive clip where Mike, it's just beautiful to watch, digs himself the biggest grave all by himself. He actively brings up this situation again, just shows his real intentions and how insincere his apology really was.
I was trying to keep it on the low, real low, because it was just one Instagram comment. No one knew except for 340 low gangsters. So I messaged Neil. I go, hey man, I go, yo, hate to ask you to do this, bro, but like I'm really trying to fix this behind the scenes. Like, I think Logan, you know, he probably shouldn't have brought this to the mainstream, but he wanted to prove a point. No one gives a fuck about me and Logan fighting. Dude, come on, just take the post down.
So when this fight occurred, he tried to get a news page, The Bread Batch, run by Niall, who's also a friend of mine, to take down the post backstabbing Logan because they were sorting it out behind the scenes. But what it truly is Mike trying to save his own ass because he knew he fucked up and just wanted to hide it from everyone. Who are you, Mike, to tell Niall how to run his page? He then goes on to make this amazing comment and already starts to try and paint Logan in a bad light to save himself.
You know, he probably shouldn't have brought this to the mainstream, but he wanted to prove a point.
What are you on about? You went on Mum's basement and bashed Logan publicly. Logan wasn't trying to make the point. You were, and it backfired hard because people realized what a snake you are. And from here on out, the excuses, the different excuses just keep rolling in. He blames his age.
I'm very different than everybody else in the space. I'm 36 years old. I have a loud mouth. I say whatever the f comes to my mind. And sometimes that bites me.
And continues to keep trying to use the defense. It was just a joke, bro.
Thought at the time that I was saying something, just like shooting the shit, whatever. And then it turned into a very major thing. On that show, I said something that I thought was funny in the moment. And my business associate wasn't laughing.
And then out of nowhere, Jake Paul comes back at Mike with actual good criticism.
But that's not always an excuse. Like, you can't always just say, like, I have a loud mouth and I just, like, say
apologize, but also at the same time, like, if me and him are still suffering under this fucking weeks later about some fucking stupid comment on a show, that to me seems a little dramatic.
Weeks later, you go on a podcast, publicly talk shit about your best friend, who's the reason you're even on that podcast because he gave you everything, and you think it's dramatic if Logan's upset just a few weeks later. Just because it makes you upset and you would love to move on from this situation the next day, you clearly have no actual remorse or understanding of what Logan feels because it's all just dramatic to you, and you're also the one who actively brought it up again. Make it make sense.
After all the shit we've been through, all the things he's ever said to me, yo, can we talk about this? Can we do this? What can we do? How can we do? All the winning we've done, to have one stupid moment where I said something for a rise.
So now the excuse you did it was for a rise. A rise in what? Drama? Views? Do you think saying that makes you look any better? If anything, it's worse. You're willing to backstab your best friend for a rise. Sound like such a great guy, Mike. Logan then chimes in of his opinion, where you can clearly see this still bothers him. And probably the way Mike is talking about it on this podcast and just digging himself his grave.
I got over it. I'm a man. Like, I can get over it. Like, you made a comment that was, you know, a blatant lie, but okay, or whatever. You claim joke.
We were all laughing.
It's all fun and games, right? Yeah.
We're all laughing though. We're all laughing. So you have to laugh too, Logan. Again, you say, "Let me be honest here. Let me be honest here," and then go off slating Logan.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you.
What is the joke? Where is the joke? The only joke here is you, Mike.
Why this one? I felt was as serious and impactful to me as it was because I knew my subconscious couldn't. And I felt it for the first time this past weekend when something occurred, we won't say what, that, you know, my knee-jerk reaction was, I want to tell my friends. Like, there's a bro moment. I want to tell my fucking friends, except this is like some top secret information I'd like to stay, you know, tell people in confidence. And I didn't want to tell you.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because your interpretation of my truth is obviously not the truth, and like that's where I noticed it for the first time. I was like, this is where it's going to affect me. My ability to open up and be fully transparent with you.
So you can clearly see now Logan saying directly to Mike that he just doesn't trust him. Can you blame him? This is how any normal human, any of us would feel if they heard their best friend go on a huge podcast and talk shit about you.
We've also been through this before. It took weeks to get over the last time we had this situation. Listen,
if you've ever been in that situation where you've heard from one of your friends that another friend has been going around and talking smack behind your back, imagine that, but to hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people. Again, why is this your defense? Oh, you've been through this before? Yeah, that's such a great look, Mike. And saying how, yeah, we've done it before. It took only weeks to get over. Why don't you comprehend, Mike, that some things take a long time to get over, especially when your friend has betrayed your trust. Logan Paul just comes out and opens up about how he can't trust Mike anymore, and all Mike cares about is, yeah, but last time we did this, it only took a few weeks to go over, Like, what don't you get? You weren't joking at all, and it is so infuriating to watch this weasel try and talk himself out of this situation with excuses like, it's just jokes, and oh, I'm just such a different person, I'm 30. Yeah, you're a backstabbing rat. You backstabbed Logan Paul. Clearly you lost his trust, and all you care about now is making yourself come across as favorable as possible, rather than, again, just owning up to it properly and caring about what Logan has to say. You didn't even listen to what he said, and he couldn't have proved my point better if he tried, because after Logan Paul opened up about all of this, Mike the moron just goes off and tries the old classic, yeah, but you did bad things too, Logan. Because again, he doesn't actually care about Logan's feelings. He goes off and lists examples that aren't even remotely comparable to what he did.
You have, just to throw it back, taken hundreds of shots that would be considered disrespectful. You brought a lie detector in to ask your friends if they ever thought about fucking my girlfriend.
Let me get this straight. Mike is comparing going on a podcast and completely and utterly bad-mouthing his best friend to Logan getting a lie detector test and asking friends if they've ever thought about having sex with Mike's girlfriend, Lana Rhodes, one of the biggest adult stars in the world. Oh, Logan, how could you? Didn't even need a fucking lie detector test. Half the population probably have. And that actually is a joke because she is an adult star. This is not comparable in any way. It's just such a fucking weasel, man. I've always had a bad feeling about Mike, and I know a lot of people have. And you know how much this pains me to say publicly on the record. But Jake Paul was right.
You are a selfish clout chaser.
That's a major drill.
That's a fact.
But let's break both down. Selfish, let's break selfish down first. Lay me the examples. Because once you make a claim, you then have to back it up. I know you don't know how a lot of stuff works from an educational standpoint, but let's roll it out. Go ahead. When you say selfish, what do you mean by that?
No, just keep talking. Now you're digging yourself into your own hole.
No, I'm not.
Which is what you tend to do.
He describes Mike perfectly. Logan Paul goes back at Mike after making these comments, rightly so, because his examples were bullshit.
The difference is none of them were lies on your behalf.
And then Mike comes out with this gem.
There's always been jokes that anybody, including myself, could have been hurt by that were always lined with humor. We do I said this to Jake earlier. Me and you, Jake, George, do a fantastic job walking a line between reality and entertainment. That day, I went a little bit too far on the entertainment side.
Oh my God, what did you just say? What kind of shit excuse is this? What reality do you live in, mate? You're telling me, even with your closest friends, in your head, you are walking this line between reality and entertainment. What the You sound like the worst friend in the world and someone I would never want to be around. You would sell out your own friend, Logan, who did everything for you, even linked you up with Lana Rhodes, gave you everything. You would sell him out like that just for entertainment. Are you that fucking deluded that everything is about clout and entertainment to you? Are you not just a human?
It happened. I apologized.
Oh yeah, you made an Instagram comment apologizing and then go on this podcast months later and show that you aren't truly actually sorry. You're completely just trying to save your own skin because now you're not sorry to Logan. It's all jokes and walking the line between entertainment and reality and then trying to bring up things Logan has done to paint him in a bad light instead to save your own Weasley ass because you can't handle the heat. Just shows how hollow your apology actually was. And the best part about this all is that he brought this up. He did this all to himself. I'm convinced there's nothing Mike wouldn't do as long as it puts him in the most favorable position with the people with the most clout. I mean, Logan Paul is moving away from America for a bit, and the first thing Mike does is join a new team and is starting a new clout gang. I have no problem with anyone else in that group, but the first thing you do, because you know you need other people with clout to leech off as much as you can because you're the biggest fucking social climber.
You know, I'm just a very different. You could.
Oh my god, there we go again. About to use the "I'm just a different person" excuse.
I'm just a very different.
Shut up, Mike. People have been saying this for years, but this situation absolutely, to me, exposes the clout chasing leech you are.
You could do that to me 1,000 times, and I would always say, damn, that kid knows how to drive viewership.
Oh my, shut up. Is that all you think about? Numbers? Is that the only thing in the world to you? What a twat. Are you trying to imply as well through this statement that's how Logan should have reacted? Getting backstabbed by his mate, but instead, damn, that kid knows how to drive viewership. No, instead Logan had an actual human reaction to the situation because you're actually his friend. But instead, all you care about is viewership, not friendship. The wrong kind of ship, mate. And that really does just summarize everything we said about Mike to a T. It shows his heart absolutely isn't in the right place with Logan. And from the latest Impaulsive episode, Mike and Logan seem to be fighting again because he didn't invite him out to film.
There's one of us missing. Mike Majlak couldn't make it to Puerto Rico because he I didn't invite him. That's right.
Oh my god.
That's right.
It's like that.
Okay, right.
Oh, so
right.
all shit's hitting the fan. All right. Well, oh shit. Okay.
No, not like that. Not like that.
No, I'm not going in.
No, I'm not. Me either. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I definitely have, like, not been responding.
Listen, Mike's just made Logan upset. Logan's just was like, hang back on this one.
Look, if I'm Logan, just from what he said on the Instagram post alone, I absolutely would keep as far away from this snake as possible. He isn't a good friend. All he wants is the most clout he can get from Logan. He isn't a good friend. He just wants to absorb all the clout he can. And the last podcast Logan made without Mike was so much better. Absolutely does not need him.
You know I wouldn't do that because I don't lie on behalf of my friends' sentiment.
I get it, but
you know what I'm saying?
I really do believe at the time when I cannot believe we're still talking about this.
Why, Mike? Because you're in hot shit and can't handle the heat? Oh, I can't believe my friends are still talking about this. Oh my god, so dismissive. How am I being questioned over backstabbing my friend? Oh, I should be talking about this. I should be getting praised and thanked by Logan for driving viewership. Shut up, man.
When I said it, I didn't know I was lying. Just making a fucking comment. That was it.
So now you weren't lying and made a comment. This guy is just trying to use every excuse under the fucking sun. He just looks like a complete moron in his flapping. You say it was just a joke, but actually at the time you didn't know you were lying. So it wasn't a joke because you didn't think you were lying. So you thought you were telling the truth about Logan and shit talking him. Mike loves to think he is so smart, but he isn't. He is just a creepy uncle who tries to get down with the kids for his own benefit, but he could give zero fucks about anyone else but himself. I hate you, Mike, simply because you made me look down this lens and say the words, Jake Paul was right. Jake Paul was right. I think the situation completely shows Mike's true colors. And hey, the old saying goes, with friends like these, who needs enemies? But yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed and agree with this, leave a like on the video, spread the video around, please. Can we hit 10,000 likes on this video? Comment below your opinion. What do you think of Mike? Do you think he's a snake? Have you always thought he was a clout chaser. Let me know your opinions. Let's see if we can get over 2,000 comments. Every comment really helps the algorithm. Turn notification bells on. My socials are all down below. My Instagram, my Twitter. Hit me up on there. I always try to respond to everyone I can. Any video ideas, anything you want to tell me, always on my socials. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, fuck off. Especially you, Mike.